Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but I'm back because school's back. And now that I can actually breathe again, because the first 3 weeks of school, 4 weeks, 5 weeks are pretty awful. But it's died down. So now I can do some videos again, so here we are. All right, I'm going to tell you school and why it sucks. Okay, I'll say it nice. We do it wrong. Really, really wrong. So here we go. Here's what's wrong. The environment in school is awful. It's terrible. It doesn't work for students nowadays. They hate it. Seats, they got to stay in those seats, who, by the way, it hurts their butt, like bad. It does not feel good. You be numb by like third period. It's not good. Bells and tardies. Why do we have that? You go out in real life. We're trying to prepare kids for real life. You go out into real life. Is there a bell? Do you get a tardy because you came to work late? No, your boss talks to you and you get fired. That's it. So if you don't want a kid to be in your class late and you want to kick them out, go for it. But why is there a tardy? That's a waste of our time. Hall passes? Really? If I got to go to the bathroom, I go. I don't need a hall pass. Why are we teaching kids this? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. No food. Why? They get hungry too. They're people. In fact, they get hungrier than we do because their metabolisms are faster. Let them eat. What's wrong with you? Okay? The lunch is disgustingly nasty. In fact, I haven't eaten in the cafeteria in my school in over 7 years. The reason for that is because when I used to eat in the cafeteria, my stomach would literally hurt. That means the food is really bad. Why? Why are you giving kids this nasty food? That's terrible. Dress code. Okay, tell me in what way it makes a difference if a kid is wearing jeans or a hoodie or a hat or anything else, how that is in any way impeding his learning. That makes no sense to me. Who cares? If you can get them to come to school, I don't care if they come in naked, I'm going to be honest. If you're going to come to school and learn something, I'm going to be happy. I don't care what you got on. You came. Praise God. Yay. No phones. No headphones. Why? We spend our whole lives using our phones. We use our phones for work, for business. We're in the middle of a meeting and we need to look something up. We use our phone. Why is a kid sitting in class, they have a question, they can't Google it? Why? I understand you're like, well, because they use it to text. Well, then that's their problem. Why are we making it our problem? Keep on teaching. They want to use their phone, they can do fine. I guess they get an F. Headphones. There are a whole bunch of kids in my class who, if I give them an assignment and I let them wear headphones, they'll do it. The second I tell them they can't wear their headphones, they're up out of their seat, running around the room talking like a little girl. So if you let them wear headphones, they'll sit down and they'll be quiet and they'll do the work. So sometimes headphones are necessary. Now we need to talk about how do we fix that, the environment. How about you get some bean bags in school? Get some couches. Let kids move around. Have some different stations where kids can move from one place to the next so that they can figure out what kind of activities they want to do. They can't be sitting in these chairs. Come on. That's just too much. And if you want them to sit, you better give them something comfortable to sit in, like a couch, a padded chair, a bean bag. Come on. Just because their butt is younger doesn't mean it doesn't hurt as much. Please. All right. Now here's where I'm talking about most of these rules that we have in high schools. You need to build an internal sense of responsibility and real consequences for kids rather than rules. You can't tell a kid, don't be tardy, you need to wear this, don't have food, don't do this, you need to be in class on time. You can't keep telling a kid this and then just giving them rules and consequences. They need to internally understand it for themselves why that is a rule. And they need to follow it because they want to follow that rule. So they need to learn that their own way. So you know what? Stop giving them these rules and let them fail. Let them learn that this is what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do. The real consequence in life. Not this fake one that you get ISS and you be sitting in this room bored out of your mind, texting your friends the whole time. No, that's not a real consequence. Let them fail. That's what they need. Then they do it because they want to do it, not because they're afraid of ISS. Because guess what? They're not afraid of it anyway. Just so you know. Clean up after yourself. Why can't they eat food? Let them eat food and let them clean up after themselves. When they spill food, they'll clean it up. Then they learn. It's not that big a deal. Healthy, better choice in food options. Get some food trucks. Get some healthy, fresh food in your cafeteria. Help these kids learn that vegetables can be good. Healthy food can taste good if it's seasoned correctly. So why don't you get some people and teach them how to do that and get them in your school? Or have classes where you teach kids how to do that and then sell that better food. Give them more options. How about we teach kids how to use their smartphones for academic use? They already know how to use it for everything else. So why don't we teach them how to use it for Google? How do they find good websites? What kind of apps are good for definitions? What kind of an app is good if you need help with understanding a book or writing or grammar? What kind of apps can they use for that? Translating apps. I have a whole bunch of kids who speak other languages. Find them good translating apps that are going to be good that they can use. Teach them how to use their smartphone for school. They have it anyway. Teach them how to use it for school. Now we need to talk about the curriculum. This is why we teach what we teach. Right now we teach everybody does the same thing. We will not give kids the Wi-Fi password, or teachers, by the way. Are you kidding me? I have a bachelor's degree and you won't give me the Wi-Fi password? I will, okay, I'm going to go on before I get mad. All right, you teach old literature and textbooks. We use old textbooks with outdated information and use literature from the 1600s. Okay, and then we learn a whole lot of theories. You sit at the desk and you learn a theory. This is how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to learn how to cook like this. This is what you do. And then we take a test over it on a piece of paper, and they never move. That's the curriculum right now. We need to change that. We need to make lessons more personal and individual. And the test needs to be individual. They need to be based on what that student can and cannot do. So I know this takes time. I'm aware of this. Teachers who might watch this go, we don't have time to do that. Okay, then get another job, because that's your job. Your job is not to cookie cut everything for everyone in the room, because everyone's not the same. Okay, you've got to get another job. This is what we do. If we care about kids and we want them to do it, we need to figure out, what does this kid need? All the students in my classes are ENL students, meaning they don't read or write, speak perfect English. You cannot give them the same reading that you give a regular student. And if you are, you're going to have to put all the definitions in there, because there are words they don't know. You've got to translate some of this stuff. You've got to hook some kids up here. You've got to give them a little help. Other kids who need other help, you've got to do that. You need to give them fast, free, working Wi-Fi. Please. How are you going to teach them how to use their smartphone and for academic use if you don't have Wi-Fi and you don't give kids the Wi-Fi password? Hello? So, that's just obvious. You've got to be able to compare and read. Okay, I'm not saying don't read classic novels. Read Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. I really do. I'm not going to lie. It makes me old and dumb and geeky, but I don't care. I like Shakespeare, but the problem is you got to do some new books too. You got to mix them together. You need to do some modern and some new. Combine and compare them and figure out how they're different, what's new. Use internet resources and new textbooks. Use modernized things that get updated frequently. I know people don't like to use Wikipedia. Fine, make it a lesson. Go on Wikipedia, see what it says, and then talk about where the errors might be. And then go to other research websites so that kids can learn about that and how to update and why it's been changed. How about we do some lessons instead of practicing it? Don't tell a kid how to teach. Let them cook. Let them actually go cook it. Let them actually learn how to chop something. Don't tell them this is how you chop something and then you take a test over how to do it. You actually teach them how to chop it. You let them do it. So you need to actually physically let kids do this. Let me tell you, in general, this is the problem with education. We do not teach the whole child. We try to teach a group of people as a generation. You can't do that. You need to teach a whole child, the entire person. We cannot just teach their brain intellectually. We already do that. Yes, we're worried about your intellect. We want you to be able to read, write, think, all that. The intellect. We need to teach the rest of the child, and we're missing all of that right now. We need to learn to teach a kid emotionally how to cope with problems, how to work through problems, how to deal with difficult situations, how to deal with conflict. We need to teach them how to grow up, how to say no. What do you do about peer pressure? We don't teach kids these things. We also don't teach kids socially how to deal with things. Physically, okay, a PE class in 10th grade where you pass if you put the clothes on is not physical education. You need to have at least an hour a day where students are able to try out different forms of physical activity, and you have to have options. Some kids are going to want to learn yoga and learn how to do that kind of flexibility. Some kids are going to want to play a game. They're going to want to play soccer. They're going to play football, baseball. Give them different games that they can learn how to play. Teach them the rules. Let them play. Learn how to do it. Let them do that for an hour. How about kids who just want to do like workout videos? They want to do strength training. Some people, you got to give kids some options about the types of physical activities they can do and then let them try different ones out every day. That way they can find out physically what works for them. Because hello, America's fat. So let's fix this. That should be part of every school day. Intellect we already deal with. Creativity. Unless you take art or music, you don't get that. There should be a creative something that you do every day. Even if it's just a way to express your feelings. In a journal, through poetry, raps, any number of things. This could be art, this could be sewing. You've got to do something creative. You've got to give kids a creative outlet. And of course, number one, you know I'm going to say this, spiritual. Spiritually, you've got to give kids education. You've got to teach them, I'm not going to say a religion because that's wrong. You've got to teach a kid how to have a relationship with God, and you got to give them time to do it. So you got to teach a kid how to meditate, how to pray, how to maybe read the Bible or whatever book they use for their own religion. Because I know that Jesus is the only way. I'm in agreement. But you've got to teach a kid how to have their own relationship with God and how to build that on their own. And that is going to fix a lot of these motivational issues that you have with kids, or kids' moral issues, the things kids don't want to do. They don't want to follow rules. They don't want to grow up. They don't want to do this stuff. A lot of this, you start teaching a kid how to have a relationship with God, and it's going to fix a whole lot of the rest of this. So we need to put God back into school. And I don't mean we need to teach them the Bible. I mean we need to teach them how to have a relationship with God. And we need to stop teaching kids how to memorize everything. That's driving me crazy. And how to, if you give me the same answer that I gave you in class, you get an A. That's not education. We need to let kids really think. We need to teach kids how to think critically, to think for themselves, to ask questions, to give answers that are real, and to back up their information with what they've learned, to write about their experiences every day. And I'm telling you, yes, I know this is a whole revamp of education, but that's just coming from me, and I bet a lot of you kids out there agree with me. So that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope you like my new education. Maybe you can help me. Give me money. I can start a new school, right? Later.